Kahalayam, Layahal Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles, peace, blessing, mercy, and salutations to all the men out there teaching the truth and sincerity, the hopeful elect. And Shalom, because we're still in the feastable. I said feastable because I was. You'll find out. I was reading Ezekiel, and I guess there's different languages that this Bible Hub gives you, and I was going through all of them. I was reading all of them, so I'm feeling real kind of proud of myself because I'm almost at 9 languages I could read. But that's nothing because I could just read them, but I could barely understand them. So that's why I said feastable. Okay, back to the show. The Feast of Tabernacles. There you go. So we're in the Feast of Tabernacles still. Okay, this is Ezekiel 36 and 16. And I'm gonna read this little bit, and then I'm gonna drive to the park, and then when I get there, I'll get down on expound on more of the verses. Son of man, take a stick of wood and write upon it, belonging to Judah and to the Israelites associated with him. Then take another stick of wood and write on it, belonging to Joseph, that is to Ephraim, and all the Israelites associated with him. Now I'm gonna take off, go for a little drive. I'm gonna have a little conversation about this. Because I was watching the Apostle to Harvard put up a video about vocab. What do you call him? Paul Bearer and the Undertaker. I was watching Apostle Tahar talk about Paul Bearer and how he wants to keep the Israelites asleep in a state of death. Because you can't be alive if you believe in sweet Jesus. If you go to Europe, it's just common knowledge that he was a dark-skinned man. Because they have all kinds of paintings and shit. And even these queerbaits at the fucking Catholic Church, they got a secret room where they keep all the paintings of the so-called Dark Messiah. But, not only am I going to talk about it, we're going to get into it because the Bible Hub is a dangerous sword. And it's a dangerous weapon. I'm going to show you why. Whenever you're at home and you find yourself having free time, go on and hop on to the Bible Hub. Because it has different languages. It'll give you. I was reading Filipino, and I know I was reading it a little right, but if I read it to a person with a fluent tongue in it, they probably would be leaning in, trying to get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But to me, I can read it. I just need someone to help me clean it up. Because there's Israelites all over the world. And then French, I don't know why, but French I was reading it pretty smooth. Well, of course I know why, because of the reincarnation. And then on Spanish, boom, no trouble right there. And then Portuguese was pretty awesome too. So we have brothers all over the world that need to hear this message. And the younger brother, Caleb, he was talking about this subject right here. And this is a good subject, man. This is a good subject because it'll go. This, I don't know. Yeah, he might be Ishkur, but he's got a lion shirt on. might even be so-called Portuguese, which will still make sense. Makes some good sense right there. That's a good topic right there, Iberia. I know that younger brothers can't put those two together. But that's why it's a good topic. Break it down. So I'm in my little town, A-town, they call it. Gangbangers call it A-town. It's just a little fucking small piece of dookie on the butt cheek of Babylon called Armona. So if you're driving 50 miles an hour, you'll pass this baby up. Won't even notice. So that just lets you know that we would be all over the world, sojourning for jobs, looking for a better lifestyle, right? A better life, you could say. So if you find a better life, you're gonna be like, why do I need to go back to that old country? Because there's a lot of people that do go back, and then you have a big home. I'm here at the park, so break it down now. I don't know if I should do that. Alright, let me just fix my parking. Because it's a narrow road, so I'm just gonna go in at an angle. Curved angle right here, boom. I just want to make sure I'm off the road. Well, I'm gonna leave my seatbelt. So, let's go into why it's so important. This is why it's so important. So, of course, oh, and it was also in Hebrew. So there it is. Okay, so now we're going to get some understanding on the language. The language barrier. We're going to break down language barrier. So, you could be like, well, it was written in this and it was written in that. You're correct. It was written in Greek and it was written in Hebrew and it was written in Aramaic, because every time we were in a different captivity, we would change languages. You see, because my dad came over here from Michoacan speaking nothing but Spanish. Terrible Spanish at that. And then he had to learn English. He hasn't learned he hasn't learned it. He can understand it because he's been around it so much. Which is another good point. You can acquire a language by just listening to it. So listen to this. The in parentheses says we ought ta, implying that there's two T's, which there's not. The first letter is wa, second letter is third letter is tha, and the last letter is ha. There's only one T, as I said, but they have to put emphasis on the T. Perhaps that's how they want you to say it. So how you would say it is in the Lashwan Kodash, wa'ath wa'atha, okay, wa'atha. So the ha at the end becomes, the H becomes silent. It happens in Spanish, and there's too many lessons to do. So what does that mean? Thou and thee and you, ye and you, because wa means and, atha, that's the accusative, atha, or the a and tha, because the a is first and the tha is the last. You could say thou, thee, ye, and you. So, and you. So we're going to go with and you. But all these apply, and they all mean the same thing. The barriers are in your mind. Alright, let's break those barriers down. Let's see, and then ban. See how it says ben? That's the Yiddish way of saying it. So now we got more added on to a holy language. You know how you get ben? There's no e. There's no e. It's ban. And then on the flip side, these Yiddish folks will be like, and they won't deny it either. They're like, that's the old tongue. I heard that shit. That's the old tongue. Kiss my ass, then, motherfucker. So we know we're on the same accord. Okay, it's the old tongue. Okay, so we have an old tongue, which means we have an old way of speaking, which means we have an old way of living, an old culture. Wa'atha ban, and thou, a son, Adam, man goes back to Adam. You know, and it gives you the Strong's Hebrews 1:20. So it says ready. That's not it. A human being. That could be correct. So the word human, we have to break that one down too. Human means color, man means man of color. And if you want to go into what's the scripture? So Adam, right there, Adam, boom in your face. Adam, who was Adam? The first Adam, the reincarnation of Yahushua, his people. Qua, and then the next one is k, The next qua is the first letter in take, and then qua is the second one. But it says qua because the k is silent, I suppose, in this. That's how they're saying it, and we do need those motherfuckers to I don't want to say confirm it. Well, yeah, okay, I'll just say that, confirm it. Because they're the ones that kept it going, changed it, and they kept it going, and that's how they hide it, all right? Qua. So if we didn't know that, we would say qua ka, right? But it's qua. You could even do the little qua. See, it's hard, man, because it's a different dialect, like my man Pestario said from the movie Pest. So we know this one, achad, one or single, but it says ihad, and there you go again. They're flipping it over with those fucking what's it called? Masoretic text, those little fucking dots and shit. Achad. So it says united one first. So we're gonna take a stick. Son of man, take a single stick. Itaza. No, is it? Yeah, itaza. And see how they just. So you would get lost, like Apostle Sahar said. If you were studying the Yiddish, you going backwards, and that's why they did it like that. So you can get fucking lost. It makes perfect sense. And right, wakathab, to grave, to write. Take a single stick and write. That's a brother from the camp. And write on it, Allah Yao. Awa. So that it's the I is the first letter, La is the second, Ya and Wa. I probably am butchering the language, but guess what? Practice takes perfect, like I said before, for like a year and a half when my martial art in the Horongdo gym where I bled and tears came out and I got my bones broken. I was getting my ass whooped for like a year. I wasn't really getting my ass whooped. It was just, they just taught me nothing but defense. But that's how it is. Because you're a white belt and the orange belt and the yellow belt. And then you get into the grappling. It's a progressive thing. Right? Ayla Yao. Ayla Yawa. Or Ayla Yao. Above, over, upon, against. So over. We're going to do it over, upon, or over, upon it. belonging to Judah. La. So you know that La is it gives authority. Or to. That's the word to or authority. So now, belonging to Judah. So when something belongs to you, it's under your authority, right? La Yahawada. Yahawada. Again, the H is silent. You see Ya, the L, the La, the Yahawada, Ha, right? And belonging to Judah, right? Judah praised the son of Jacob, also to the southern kingdom. So, and then be prepared for someone to say, well, that was back then. Yes, that was back then. But this is the only captivity where we don't know who the fuck we are. Okay? And then it takes a remembrance. So when you're doing something, let's say you're taking apart a fucking a little lawnmower engine. That's pretty simple, right? But if you forget the order, and there's only a couple parts to it, but if you forget the order, you won't be able to get it started again. Like a spark plug. You take a spark plug out of a car, and you fuck with the pin head on it, it's not gonna ignite, and then you just fucked up the spark plug. So you have to remember where shit is. So if you have any remembrance, you'll know, okay, I can't smash it down, I can't move this shit, it has to be perfect, it has to be the same fucking size. So what, you get that measuring thing, and then you measure it. So when you measure it, you know it's gonna be this, and that. So when Judah walks up to the sign, and we tell him, hey man, you're Israelite, and then they're like, yeah. And then you tell them the Lord's a dark-skinned man like you. He's from the tribe of Judah like you. They always say, oh wow, oh I know, right? And that's beautiful. So if the man knows he's from the tribe of Judah, nobody told him. He just knows, right? Just like us, we just know we're from the tribe of Issachar. We get down in laborious activities, or we do work. Man, that's why the cartels are so big, man, because they fucking work. Those dudes work, man. Work. Sometimes they don't even fucking sleep. Digging tunnels and all that bullshit. Damn, they're a formidable opponent. I'm not giving them praise or nothing like that. But they work. Hard work. And to the Israelites, wa labanya. So wa and to la ban sons Yah of Israel. So the Yah is short for he or Yahweh. And then everybody in the mother-loving world knows that when you're reading in the Hebrew, that little Yah is going to mean he in a word, right? And to the Israelites, sons of Israelites, associated with him, Chabarayao, united, associated, companion. Then take Walakwach, then take, right? Achad, that's another single one. Stick, Aitaza, and write Wakathwab, to grave, to write on it. Oh, on it. Allah Yahweh. So Allah Yahweh, belonging to Joseph. So we know that the law means, now that you keep going over and over and over and over, when you see that law in the beginning, that means authority or belonging to. La Yahwasap, to Joseph. Oh, damn. To Joseph, he increased the son of Jacob, also the name of several Israelites. the stick. Itaza of Ephraim, Aparium. So that would be, because Ephraim was broken up into two, Ephraim and Manasseh. So that would be the northern tribe, northern kingdom, I mean. And to all, Wakal, the whole, any, every, Bayath, that's easy, house, right? Yasharal is another easy one. Israel, house of Israel, the house of Israel, associated with him. Chaban, my bad. Chaban, Yaw. Okay, so now we read all those Hebrew words, and then we're going to put them together. Okay. All right. It says, Wa'ath ban Adam Kwach Achad Aitaza Wakathab Ilayaw La Yahawada Wa Labanya Chaban Yaw Wa Lakwach Achad Aitaza Wa Kath Wab Ilayaw La Yawasap Aitaza Aparium Wakal Bayath Yasharala Kaban Yaw. You see? So now you read it. Let's go up, get some scripture. That's another one too. We gotta go up to these. This one's good. The Webster, English Revised Version. And thou, son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions. Right? And then this is Numbers 17 and 2. Speak to the Israelites and take from them 12 staffs, one from the leader of each tribe. Write each man's name upon his staff. So that's the staff is the authority, right? Oh, this is a good one. Isaiah 11 and 13. We were talking about this at camp the other day. Then the jealousy of Ephraim will depart, and the adversaries of Judah will be cut off. Ephraim will no longer envy Judah, nor will Judah harass Ephraim. That's why we need to be out there and teaching these Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that they're brothers. You know, we need to come together. This is Zechariah 11 and 7. So I pastured the flock marked for slaughter. I see 2/3 of the Israelites that got, even the elect got put into captivity. So we had to travel with them. So I pastured the flock marked for slaughter, especially the afflicted of the flock. Then I took for myself 2 staffs, calling one favor and the other union, and I pastured the flock. So now it's time to go back home or conclude so like a lesson. So, man, the scriptures are not for everyone, although there's books in every language. And the reason that there's books in every language is right here, perfect example. The Israelites are scattered all over the world in under different captivities with different nationalities, but not nationalities, because nationality is what we're talking about. With different identities, I should say, because they're claiming the different countries they're in. They're claiming to be Hawaiians, Filipinos, Greeks, Romans, Americans, Mexicans, Canadians. They're claiming all these things, but they're not claiming who they really are, the house of Israel. So, and then once you understand that, you as the teacher, that's why we got to go over it and over it again. You as a teacher can deal with the subject when it comes up. Like, oh, how do you know that these people are from the house of Israel? Well, they would do things to bring them into remembrance. Like when you talk to a Mexican and you tell them about their Mexica, and then you explain to them that the word Mexica goes back to the Hebrew Mashiachim, and then that would bring the conversation up. So that's how it would be. Well, that's how it would help you remember. Alright, so I'm at my destination. Make a real quick stop and then upload the video. Alright, so with that I'm going to say shalom.